If you got the bigger bag, then I'll listen.
Right.
I'll stay home. But if the bag ain't right, I'm out. That's whole talk. The people surrounding you, big, if they are encouraging you to stay in pocket, it's easier for you to be in place longer.
Insiders in Dubai are speculating that 50 Cent was recently placed on a blacklist, mostly because he referred to French Montana's royal engagement as the largest fraud in his professional life. A proposal to a millionaire princess that should have been a fairy tale is now degenerating into a $200 million scandal that could cost $50 million worldwide. The most absurd aspect is that fans are unsure whether French simply worked his way into the royal family, or whether 50 broke the barrier that hip-hop beef was never meant to cross. Let's go back in time to see why this has become such a big concern. French had already begun to show off his new way of life just before he died. Designer bargains during Paris Fashion Week, creating the impression of a man who becomes 50 Cent overnight. That wasn't merely showing off. The final fraud was set up in this way. And it wasn't simply a glamorous celebration when he eventually locked in the 31-year-old princess from Dubai. It shouted riches, power, and a multi-generational bag. You must now comprehend Sheikh Amara's identity. This isn't your typical socialite or influencer. She is the daughter of United Arab Emirates Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. According to estimates, her personal net worth ranges from $300 million to $1.5 billion. People estimate her family's wealth to be between $18 and $20 billion. It's money for generations. A $1 million diamond ring is merely a taste of the kind of wealth that this person possesses. In contrast, French Montana is valued at roughly $50 million. Impressive, really. But that's just pocket change in royal circles. The internet went crazy when this engagement became public. A few fans were excited about him. In the early 2000s, French was distributing Kraken DVDs in the South Bronx. He is now getting married to a princess from the Middle East. His life is absurd. They perceive this as the greatest bag snatch in hip-hop history rather than as love. Others made it into a meme, securing the bags for future generations. Then there were those who thought it was the big reveal. A comment went viral. That boy will live a long life. And they took it literally. The French now own billions, castles, and world influence. To be honest, they were correct. Montana simply put himself in a whole other league with Mara's outrageous fortune. Naturally, though, not everyone believed that this was a love story. Some fans instantly referred to it as a straight-up bag-securing move, as 50 Cent later cried aloud. Because when you stop to think about it, who wouldn't want access to billions, boats, castles, and global power? Furthermore, Sheikh Amara has a history of drawing attention, which only serves to complicate matters. She ended her marriage to Sheikh bin Mohammed bin Rashid over a year ago in a now-deleted Instagram post that went viral. "Dear husband, I hereby declare our divorce as you are occupied with other companions," she wrote plainly. "I'm divorcing you. You and I are divorcing each other." In that post, the Islamic triple talaq was mentioned. Practice in front of the entire world, her marriage ended abruptly. She then introduced her perfume line, showed off her glamorous lifestyle in Europe, and was frequently seen with French people in Paris, Dubai, and Morocco. People were already speculating that Montana had formally maneuvered his way into royalty by the time this engagement was made public online. According to several jokes, French would be stupid to fumble that. We are discussing wealth that goes beyond wealth. And that's where the crazy starts. As you are already aware, 50 Cent is the one hip-hop artist that can't help but make fun of other people's victories. Additionally, 50 wasted no time at all when French Montana made his public debut with his engagement to a Dubai princess. Rumor has it that he began hurling insults, as he always does, though this has not been verified. This time, though, it went well beyond just making up French about music or vehicles. 50 began to imply that there was more to the engagement than romance. Millions of dollars were lost in a hustle and fraud. Fans weren't exactly dismissing it, which was crazy enough. Some even, it sounded as though they concurred. Someone wrote, "No matter what, French is going to find a way to get a bag. I've never seen a hustler hustle this hard." Another person remarked. Many people on the internet saw exactly what 50 was pointing to, even though French and the princess were portraying it as love. The largest financial transaction of French's life. This didn't feel expensive to those who had followed their feud over the years. 50 has a track record of making fun of French. Do you recall when French purchased the Bugatti in 2019? 50 vowed unequivocally that it was financed rather than cash. He even took out documents and wrote, "Just got the papers," as the caption. Never, ever try to play with me. In 2008, he obtained a 60-month loan. When you get out of that car, it will be 2025. "I just got the papers," 50 Cent stated. Never, ever try to play with me. On A08, he obtained a 60-month loan. "When you get out of that car, it will be 2025, 3 days to power." French retaliated, laughing it off and referring to 50 as a dinosaur. However, the entire incident portrayed French as someone who flaunts wealth that he does not genuinely own. And now, in 2025, 50 claims that this engagement in Dubai is the same game, just on a larger scale. Let's face it, it's simple to understand why 50 would label it a fraud when you look at the numbers. French Montana, who is already affluent, ties up with a princess who has billions of dollars. That's not a fairy tale to 50. It's a scam. Here's the catch, though. It's one thing to trot French about a car or river, accusing a royal dynasty of being complicit in fraud. That is a very new level of risk. These millionaires have international corporations, political clout, and reputations that they will stop at nothing to preserve. Because of this, news quickly spread that trolling in the 50s had reached a breaking point. You see, it's one thing to have beef within the rap game. Ja Rule, Diddy, French Montana, 50 Cent, or anyone else. In the worst situation, there are only lawsuits, diss tracks, or sarcastic remarks on Instagram. But you're playing with a completely other fire when you start using the name of a royal family in conjunction with the word swindle. Reputation is crucial to people in Dubai. They spend billions on business, tourism, and positioning the United Arab Emirates as the epitome of luxury. Therefore, an American rapper implying that one of their princesses is involved in a dubious endeavor is the last thing they will put up with. The blacklist rumors are making a great impression because of this. 50 has been discreetly shut out of Dubai, according to our informants. This indicates that he is not receiving any events or performances. And if that's the case, it goes far beyond simply making fun of French on Instagram. Access to some of the fattest bags in the world would be lost if Dubai were cut off. It's also not implausible. UAE promoters have long been wary of foreign performers with troubled histories or risk acts that can be culturally offensive. In fact, do you recall when Dubai blocked 50's own website? The block was only lifted just prior to one of his performances by the Telecommunications Regulatory Authority, a federal agency in the United Arab Emirates. The story didn't end there. 50 was ambushed and shot 9 times after criticizing drug lord Kenneth McGriff, also known as Supreme. He had to relocate to Canada in order to continue recording when the fallout banned him from the U.S. music industry. In retrospect, he even referred to it as karma. Interview.
You targeted.
You're such a good guy.
That's my past.
It was a drug thing,
No,
like
it's
a
just-
business thing.
It's calm.
And it appears that 50 hasn't learned the lesson after all these years. This is where things start to get complicated. No official documents have been dropped. However, the UAE doesn't precisely publish public blacklists of celebrities, as you are all likely aware. However, you may sense the block without a press release if you understand how these things operate. Consider it. In Dubai, 50 used to be heavy. He held events, had commercial partnerships, and even had connections to Abu Dhabi's business elite. However, insiders began speculating that the invitations stopped coming in an instant following the commotion surrounding the French Montana engagement. No more high-end parties, no more lucrative gigs, nothing. And that quiet says a lot in the entertainment industry. Access is key in Dubai. If the doors open because you get along well with the royals, if you're not, they abruptly close and never reopen. And since it's no longer about 50 and French, that's the part that everyone is missing. Rappers in the US constantly make fun of one another because it's ingrained in the culture. Diss tracks, beefs, and IG shade are all common. However, the regulations radically change when Dubai royalty is involved. Now you're not only taking the chance of a conflict, your entire worldwide bag is at risk. And true strength lies in silence. Rappers are aware of it as well. They will attack Diddy, Jay-Z, and even the Fed. But not royalty, because criticizing millionaires with political clout may close doors all over the world. So what has happened to 50 might be the clearest sign yet that hip-hop beef has limits. And it's not music that sets those boundaries, but censorship, politics, and money.